Hey guys, Niwa here, and today we got some very exciting news to talk about. So, today, or technically yesterday, the new next generation Xboxes got announced. Very exciting stuff for me. Basically, they announced two models, as you can see in the thumbnail, the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. So, basically, the reason why I'm excited is that I've had an Xbox for most of my life. I had the 360 and now the One, and probably in the near future I probably will upgrade to the new gen consoles. But before I really go into anything, we gotta discuss some stuff. Not very important, but basically, I know y'all console elitists and PC master races are gonna dish it out in the comments, so be chill. Not an Xbox elitist. But I know some of my friends are, and they are other elitists, so just be civil. If you have any questions or like about it or like why Xbox or blah, I'll answer anything in the comments. But now let's get into it. So we're gonna first talk about the Xbox Series X. And just look at the console, you can see like obviously there are all the silly memes about it being like a mini fridge, which is pretty freaking accurate. It does look like a little mini fridge. But other than that, it looks fine. They're trying to go more like the PC look where it's more vertical instead of horizontal. I'm not exactly sure why, but there's got to be some reasoning behind it because both, obviously, Xbox and PlayStation are doing that with their next generation consoles, is that they're both going vertical. So maybe there's something I missed information or something, but clearly there's an obvious reason why they're doing it. I think it's fine. It's nothing like striking. It's pretty simple, just a black box with a disc reader. Nothing crazy. But now let's talk about more about the functionality and the pricing of it. So the Xbox Series X at launch, you can pre-order it I think later in September. Same with the Xbox Series S. Will go for $499, or you can do $34.99 a month for 24 months. And if you do that payment plan, there's no interest involved, and you get Xbox All Access, which allows you to have features like Xbox Game Pass, which is very nice. Also, I guess Microsoft's tagline or motto with this console is that they're saying that it is the most powerful console. So it's a pretty bold claim. I know some of the specs are out for the PlayStation 5 as well, and it's true. But let's see if it's really able to live up to its name. So for its resolutions that it can handle, currently it can handle up to 4K and later on 8K and some 60 FPS and 120 FPS engagement. So it's a pretty big upgrade. I know it's nothing like PC level of frames or resolution, but I know as an Xbox player, it's kind of frustrating to have 30 frames still to this day, since like 2013. So I've been getting picked on. I have my friends that have PCs and they're like, lol, Xbox scrub, you freaking loser, Niwa. But basically, like, it's nicer. It is nice. I don't need to have like 3,000 frames like an insane PC, but something that runs smoothly. I think this Xbox will allow me to run games much more smoothly. Obviously, it is also backwards compatible, which is very nice. It's a very nice feature that they added with Xbox One and shouldn't have any issues continuing on, which they are doing so. Um, the storage device is not actually built in. It is a 1 terabyte SSD drive. So that means you can pull at the back of the Xbox, put it into another Xbox um, that will handle it. And that's pretty interesting because um, they're not, I don't, yeah, the Xbox One right currently has obviously an internal drive, but this is a solid state drive. So if you want to bring over like your games, your data and everything, you could just whip out that solid state drive and plug it into your friend. But they have to have obviously also an Xbox Series X or an Xbox Series S. So there's nice new compatibility to that. And if I'm correct, I think you can have two SSD drive ports. It's like a special I guess plug or socket, obviously, so you can't just use other stuff. But They also have a USB 3.2 built in, so you can put in like external drives or other things that use USBs. And obviously, the Xbox Series X has a disk drive, and it is Blu-ray compatible, so that's nice. This will allow you to obviously play backwards compatible games with the disk drive, which unfortunately in the Xbox Series S you cannot. So a little difference in that. But that's basically the Xbox Series X, looking pretty solid. But now we're going to talk about the Xbox Series S. This thing kind of looks like the side burner on a grill, where it's just flat, and then it just has like that one little burner. It's like that fan. It kind of looks like that, which I find kind of funny. Um, but the main selling point on this is its size. But we're going to talk about the price first. The Xbox Series S you can buy for $299 at launch on November 10th, or $24.99 with a 24-month lease. Once again, no interest, Xbox All Access, which includes Xbox Game Pass and other perks. So it's pretty darn cheap. $300 for a new console. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Their claim for this console is that it's going to be next-gen performance on the smallest Xbox ever. And the way they back up this claim is that it is 60% smaller than the Xbox Series X, and it has 4 times the processing power of the Xbox One and 3 times the GPU performance of the Xbox One. So for me, that's very enticing because for a really cheap price, only $300, I can get a console that's much more powerful. And basically, for some reason, if I want to trade my Xbox One, I could probably get $100, $125 out of it. So affording a new console is pretty easy. It's not gonna break the bank in any way, shape, or form. Um, but the graphics do slack a little bit compared to the Xbox Series X, which makes sense. But for resolutions, can be mostly 1440p, but some games and activities on the Xbox Series S will have 4K scaling, mostly 60 FPS, but some 120 FPS. So 60 FPS, I'm still 100% fine with. Nothing really wrong with that. But obviously 120 FPS would be a little nice. But unfortunately, as you can see by the gameplay in the background, I play Destiny a lot, which I really do enjoy. Unfortunately, Bungie's only supporting Destiny 2 to 60 FPS on the new consoles, which is really sad. But it's still better than 30 FPS, believe me. The Xbox One Series S comes with a 512 gigabyte solid state drive, digital only, so that means no disc reader. So that means if you want to do backwards compatible, it can only be digital downloads. No, you cannot have any disc games that you want to play backwards compatible. So those are basically like the specs and what stands out to me for both Xboxes. Um, my thoughts on this is I'm very excited. I really am excited. I think that these Xboxes will bring a new wave of enjoyment to a lot of gamers who play Xboxes and I guess have that nice boost of FPS and let the consoles run a lot smoother. You can clearly tell, like, when the Xbox One first came out, some of the games um, even struggled then, like that really high end games. And like now, I guess you can say for like games such as like um, even like Fortnite. I haven't touched Fortnite in a while, but those games like 100 gigs, like it really does tack on. And even Destiny 2 currently, the game is like 110 gigs. You could tell like some of the loading times in that game are insane. Like sometimes to load into a social space, something could take 5 minutes, which is a lot of time. And I'm pretty sure that these Xboxes really help with stuff like that. Just a lot more refreshing gameplay, hit registration, all those type of things should be improved because more frames, less latency, and just an all better experience for players. Um, I guess a question I could also answer is what console will I be getting? I'll probably be getting the Xbox Series S just because for the longevity purpose. If how I guess the cycles happen is that Xboxes have been coming out every around 7, 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years. So I'd rather have a console that I'd pay up a little bit more upfront, but I know will help me last and work out better in the long run for games that come down the future. So once again, guys, thank you for tuning in to my video. Please give it a positive rating, and if you have any questions, please leave in the comments and suggestions as well. And thank you guys for stopping by, and have a good day. Goodbye.